Recently, I was scrolling Instagram, as one does, and I came across this post from Watching New York, one of my favorite accounts, showcasing this very cool person wearing a peculiar pair of shoes. Are you seeing this? Do you see what I see? Zombie feet. So of course that led me down a rabbit hole. These are in fact the Tuesday shoe from Vivienne Westwood with this year's print on it, featuring these very spooky, painterly, yucky zombie feet. Of course my thought immediately jumps to, I want that, but I want to make it myself. So this week, the goal is to do just that. We're gonna thrift a pair of shoes. We're gonna paint some sort of spooky ooky set of Tootsies on them. Not these specific ones, because we don't want to copy it one for one. We're just using it as inspiration, of course. And at the end, hopefully we have a piece that feels more like us, that we're gonna love rocking during this spooky season. Okay, we know what comes next. As they say, to the thrift store. Oh, I didn't introduce myself yet. Hi, I'm Kathleen if you're new here. We make videos about crafting and illustration and personal style and sustainable style, and usually it's silly, goofy, and always a good time. Okay, to the thrift store. So while I'm thrifting, I'm going to talk a little bit about these actual shoes because they're really cool. You'll notice that the toe is shaped very organically, and I read up a little bit on it. It's supposed to emulate the natural body pushing against and bursting at the seams. Vivienne Westwood, the brand, calls it an anatomical toe, which is apparently kind of a signature silhouette. And it's similar to the animal toe silhouette that looks like this, that I like far too much. And also apparently this specific print, the zombie footprint, is inspired by 1950s film posters and is reminiscent of, again, those animal toe shoes from the autumn-winter 1983/84 Witches collection. Can you think of a better pair of shoes for the most wonderful time of the year? Okay, back to the thrifting. I did just find like brand new Sabagos. They are $35, but they're originally interesting. There's a lot of UGG stuff here. These are $50, which is, come on guys. That was quick. I'm back, and we have options. Why are you so low? That's better. So the actual Vivienne Westwood shoes are Oxford shoes. Like, they have a lace up in the front, and I wasn't able to find any of those, but I was able to find some loafies that are exactly my size. They're basically brand new, and most importantly, they have almost a kind of similar toe shape to the Vivienne Westwood ones. The Vivienne Westwood ones obviously have like a very bespoke custom toe shape, but these have a little bit of a flare on the end. They're squarish. Franco Sardo's never done me wrong when it comes to shoes. So I think we'll have enough real estate on here to paint some sort of foot. Ooh, Kashi, sorry. He just got penny loafered. He's fine. It didn't fall on him, it fell next to him and just scared him a little. I also recently thrifted these penny loafers, which, funnily enough, I thought these were also Sebago loafers because the little insole says Sebago, the bottom says Sebago. They feel nice. But when I was looking online at actual Sebagos to try and see what model these were, I feel like it's kind of a hallmark feature of a Sebago loafer to have this like seam along the back. Seamless. Seamless in a bad way. So either they have models that are seamless and I just am not aware of them, or these are fake, which doesn't really matter. I got them at the thrift store. All that to say, we do have another option, but I don't have as much real estate on the top, so these are a backup in case these go poorly, but let's cross our fingers that doesn't happen. Speaking of Sebagos, you also saw me find these basically brand new Sebagos at the thrift store. Look at that bottom. Basically spotless. And guess whose size these are? Gus's. So my initial thought was, he's actually traveling right now. I'm gonna go pick him up tonight. I was gonna paint him and then surprise him with them. But what if he was like, why did you paint such nice loafers? I would have loved if they were Nike. So my updated plan is I'm gonna paint mine. And if he likes them, I will offer to paint his if he wants. Just because I want a yucky feet on my expensive leather loafers doesn't mean everybody does, okay? I don't know why they wouldn't, but I also found him a matching pumpkin shirt. I have one of these as well. I wear it all the time. We can be matching pumpkins. So cute. Okay, I'm procrastinating. Let's get into this. Okay, so before we start slapping any paint around, we gotta slap a couple pixels around. That's right, we're doing sketches. So I snapped a pic of my loafies, and I have a little rough sketch going on. You see the red lines with the the feet. So here's my big dilemma. I don't know if I want like fleshy zombie feet on my loafers, because I don't necessarily want to just recreate the Vivienne Westwood piece. It's amazing, of course, but I don't get all the pleasure from just recreating one-to-one. I like to use it as inspiration and then bring the thing into the world that's exactly what I want that doesn't exist yet. So we are going to do feet, but what if we do fuzzy feet? Are you one of them fuzzies? Yes. Yes, I am. So I'm thinking like slightly fuzzy tootsies with some claws sticking out of the end. And I'm thinking I want them to be blue and perhaps striped. Let me do a couple different colorways and maybe I'll pop it up on Instagram and see what y'all think. Or just having like red devilish feet with long claws. That could be cool too. We won't know until we know, you know? Not me looking up how to draw feet on the internet. Uh-oh. Okay, we've got 3 options. I don't know why I said 3. We have 2 options. We've got fire imp feet and we've got fuzzy stripies. Now, if I had my withers? What's that saying? If I had my choice, I think I'd be more likely to choose, stripy monster fuzzy feet. Just feels a little less serious, you know? And it gives us the chance to be a little more graphic, a little more cartoony, because these aren't supposed to look scary. But I just uploaded it on Instagram. By the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram and take part in these fun little interactions, you can do that at Kathleen Illustrated on Instagram. So far, it's pretty close. But people do seem to be leaning towards the monster feet, which honestly, I thought they would lean towards the fiery feet. So we're on the same page, people. So while I get some more input, allow this poll to run a little bit longer. I've been home alone for the last week and I've made some messes. I know last week is all about cleaning up my messes. Well, when you're home alone for a week, sometimes things get a little out of hand. They're not that bad. I just want to like do the dishes and like have the house looking nice when he gets home. That's the least I can do, you know? So let's go tidy up a bit. I also have some very exciting mail to show you, and we'll come back here and see what the ultimate winner is. Let's see how our poll is doing. Why am I nervous? It's not like I'm actually going to listen to what it says. Oh my gosh. Before, fuzzies were in the lead. Now, stinky demon feet are in the lead. Something is just telling me that the demon feet take themselves too seriously. Even though I like how that drawing looks more than the fuzzy feet, but I'd rather wear the fuzzy feet on my feet. Does that make any sense? I'm so complicated. Also, I've been getting a lot of DMs, even some emails from y'all, pictures of your pets, because I legally mandated that if you're watching my last video with a pet, you had to send me a picture, a proof, one might say. Thank you, you're all such good citizens. Also, everyone's saying, okay, but can you do both of the loafers? That would be cool. Do I have time to do that? Not necessarily. Liz says blue feels more like you. I agree, Liz. I agree. What if you did one of each? Okay, Kaden. Having too many good options is a good problem to have. I will say that. Okay, let's talk next steps. Not this again. What do you want, Jelly? Why do you have my wallet? Oh, I know what this is about. This is about that niche anime I wanted to watch that I could only watch with the free trial that I promptly forgot to cancel after 7 days. That wasn't my best moment, but don't come for me, little man. But unfortunately for us, Jelly does have a point. I recently learned that I was paying over $15 a month for forgotten subscriptions. Well, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help. I'm using Rocket Money to securely identify those reoccurring charges and cancel those forgotten subscriptions. And you can use the app itself to cancel with just a few taps. I also just used Rocket Money to lower my internet service bill. That's right, Rocket Money will negotiate your bills for you by uploading a picture and tapping a few buttons. Rocket Money has helped save its customers up to $740 a year when they use all the features, with over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. So to save more and spend less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/KathleenIllustrated or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock even more features with premium. That's rocketmoney.com/KathleenIllustrated to get started for free. And speaking of getting started, let's get started with this craft. Good morning, everybody. You know my favorite refreshing morning drink or drink throughout the day when water just sounds too painfully boring to even consider. We do a little cold brew of roasted corn tea and roasted barley tea. Oh, stick it in the fridge overnight. Oh, you got this pea water. It's so good. If you want to get extra refreshing, add a little apple cider or lemonade. Kind of like an Arnold Palmer, but weird. It's so delicious. Should we go see what loafers won our Instagram poll? I have a feeling it's going to be pretty close. Let's see. La 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 la. It's so close. The red devil feet, 54%. Fuzzy feet, 46%. I did get some feedback. Some people said that they liked the fuzzy feet more, but they didn't like that color palette because it was too Monsters Inc. Fair, but is that a problem? What if instead of blue and green, I do like blue and purple, so it's a little more tonal? Or we could do red and orange, because some other people said do the color palette of the devil feet, but in the fuzzy style. And maybe we do red fuzzy feet. It's too early to be making any sort of decision. People are still also saying do both, which rude. Help me, don't make my life harder, please. Girl, I missed almost all of September. Wow. I'm very tempted to look at October, but I'll be good and I will refrain soon enough. This calendar's by Maddie Fisher. Paper Maddie on Instagram. And I'm guessing that next year's calendars are going to be coming pretty soon. There's the info if you want to check it out. This is probably the thing I get asked about the most, item-wise. Okay. It's basically 50-50, people. Not literally, but almost. Shall we sketch some stinky, fuzzy, furry little feet on these loafers? Yeah. By the way, these were $5.99. And by $5.99, I mean $4.99. I don't know what type of drawing utensil is gonna work on this. For some reason, colored pencil seems like a good first try. Let's see. Yeah, that worked pretty well. Probably can't see that at all. Cool. Okay, so for the painting on leather process, first of all, I'm not a professional. I've done it quite a few times and I've had good luck. But if you want to do it and you still have questions, feel free to do your own research. Anyways, first step, wipe your leather with just a little bit of water, a little damp cloth, just to make sure there's no dirt. All the lint and stuff is off. And then since we're going for such a bright color, I'm actually going to do a layer of white down first, and then we'll add the color on top. I'm going to be using this plaid paint. This is what it looks like. Basically, it's a flexible bodied acrylic paint, and that means that you can use it on fabric or malleable surfaces, and it can bend with the fabric without cracking, which is great for leather. If you don't have this, you could also just use normal acrylic paint. You might get some cracking. If you want to lessen the cracking, you could add some fabric painting medium to your paint, and then you basically get this. Also, a lot of people ask, well, aren't you worried that it's gonna like flake off or come off when it's raining? Typically with my handmade pieces like this, I try to treat it more like an art piece and less like something you just wear and kick around every day. So if it were pouring rain outside, probably wouldn't wear these. Probably wouldn't wear leather shoes in general, but unless you don't mind if they get, you know, scuffed up. Do you, boo? One pro to the Oxford style shoe that the actual reference image is, that round-toed lace-up style, is that there's more surface area to paint and draw on. There's no like boundary line like there is on the top of this loafer. This central plane is like really the only place we have to paint. And that means our foot's gonna be pretty small. I mean, I guess I could go over the edge a little bit, but there's something nice about staying within this geometric shape. Maybe we should do just the bare foot without the fur. Or maybe I will just go outside the boundary line. Choices, choices. Anyways, let's start with our white layer. Boop.
Hey! Hey!
Okay, we have our first coat done. Feet. Looks pretty good. And I just got a notification that I had a package. The prints I made, was that last week's video? To use as thank you cards and stationery have arrived. People were asking what I used to get them printed. I just did Vistaprint because they had a coupon. Not sponsored. I have no idea how these are gonna look. Cute. I love it. It's not very sturdy. Kind of just feels like a note card. I was hoping it'd feel, you know, like a postcard. So these are definitely gonna get beat up in the mail if I actually send them. Oh well. Tried to do a good thing by using the recycled paper option. We made these using alcohol inks and rubbing alcohol and Photoshop. Sweet. Okay, let's mix up some colors for our monster feet. So I wanted a little more color variance than what these two can offer me, so I brought in some normal acrylic paints, and that's where we're gonna add a little bit of fabric medium to give them a little bit of a softer body so they don't crack and they act kind of like the other paint that we've used. I get so happy when my desk is just covered with art supplies. It feels right. Can you guys relax out there? Thank you. Look at these little guys. I feel like a straight up Muppet. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. But I think they're so funny and cool. And I like how they just give kind of a tonal stripe as well if you see them from further away. Wow. Also, remember when I added pumpkin trim to the bottom of my pants in a video a while ago? I wore those in a rainstorm and they got soaked. And so I took them off to clean and iron and then haven't attached them again. Classic. Anyways, my current conundrum right now while I'm waiting for these to kind of dry is what color do I make the toenails? In my sketch, it's blue, but I think it might be fun to add a crazy color. I'm thinking either like a really bright lime green or like a bright pinky red. Make it really girly pop. I think that is funny. Make it look like she's got a pedicure. I love this. I love this so much. Oh my gosh. So while this dries, I actually have some very exciting other mail to open. Let's make the most of our time together, okay? Come with me. We're going downstairs. I ordered two things. One kind of has to do with this video and one doesn't at all, but I thought you would enjoy seeing it. So there's an artist I'm a big fan of named Georgie, aka Smarty_Farty on Instagram. And sometimes they host these auctions of hand-painted fan art or hand-drawn fan art. And I bid on some auctions in June and won 2 pieces. I went hard. I was like, I want these. I'm making it happen. I like set a timer and everything. Anyways, I ordered them in June and they just showed up. I was like, oh no, did they get lost in the mail? They weren't cheap. Ah! Georgie was very cool and was willing to help me out if they never showed up. And they finally did. They came from France, so it makes sense that they kind of got lost. Also, Georgie said that they've sent stuff to Ohio before and it's also gotten lost, so it's Ohio's fault, as always. You're not gonna believe. Hold on, let me get better light. Look at her! Doesn't this look like a print, like a digital painting? But it is, in fact, traditional. Maid Marian and her love for all my fellow Robin Hood lovers out there. I saw how many of you had a crush on him in my cartoon crushes video, including myself. I'm calling myself out. And then I got this one too. Look at him. Aren't they so sweet? I need to get 2 little frames for these bad boys. I feel like they'd even be cute on this wall. I love them. And then, so y'all know I love thrifting in Japan. And I don't know if you've heard of these before, but there are companies that you can buy off of secondhand websites in Japan. Like they have a version of Mercari over there, or just vintage stores that have online shops there. You can buy them and then through like a middleman company, they'll ship it to you in the US. One such company reached out to me, they're called Zen Plus, and they're like, hey, can we send you some cool secondhand stuff from Japan? And I'm like, is this real life? I'm doing a sponsored short form video with them on Instagram. This isn't sponsored. This YouTube video has nothing to do with that. I just wanted to show you, okay? The shoes we're making this week are inspired by Vivienne Westwood. I made a Vivienne Westwood inspired Sharpie alcohol ink blouse 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So when I saw this, I was like, that one, that's the one I want. It's a little Velcro crossbody bum bag with oversized zippers. Say hello to my new thrifting bag, everybody. It's gonna hold all my stuff. I don't know what it is, but I just love this chunky zipper. It's so big. Let's put some stuff in it, fill it out a little bit. Is it cool? I think it's cool. I feel like the luckiest girl in the world. When we do our styling at the end, I'm definitely gonna use this. But before we get there, I mentioned that I wanted to paint the toenails like a really bright color. I don't have any fluorescent acrylic paint, so I think we need to pop out, go get a tube or two, and then we can finish up. Sound good? Here, I'll put you in my bag. It's got plenty of room. Hop on in. Please have fluorescent, please have fluorescent. Yes. Got it. Now which one do we pick? You will not be surprised to learn that I did in fact wear the shoes so that we can do a live comparison. Good. Also good. I can't decide. Not me texting my boss on a Saturday to see what color I should paint my monster toenails. I trust their judgment. They have good taste. Hopefully they don't ignore me like a normal person would ignore their coworker on a weekend. Okay, I'm back. Please excuse the football happening. We're going pink, baby. I think I'm gonna make it a little more red, so it's like a hot, fiery red. I also got sparkles because I wanted to do a sparkle manicure, but that comes later. For now, I was like, what if I put masking tape on here and like cut out the fur shapes so that we can get a more graphic shape if I apply paint to it? Well, when you peel off the masking tape, that's what happens. So let's fix this. Let's add our nails, and then we'll do my nails. Feeling good about where they are, where our painting progress has gotten. While we wait for that to dry, let's go talk about books for a second. We're lighting a candle. Does anyone else get kind of scared when they use matches? I just don't trust them, you know? Gotta have a healthy respect. We're gonna take off my very chipped and crappy thigh rolls that I did a couple videos ago. I'm surprised they've lasted this long, honestly. And we're gonna talk about books, because we didn't last week, and I have some updates. Well, I have update. In my Libby app, I've had a lot of books come in that I've had on hold for like weeks or months, and I've had to put them back on hold because what I'm learning is that when I borrow them, they don't always get to them. Isn't this an obvious sentiment? So I've been putting books back on hold while I try to finish up The Only Good Indians. Still working on it because this other book became available, and it's called The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard, and it was actually recommended by one of y'all. Instagram messages are so disorganized. Hold please. Tights, socks, shoes. Thank you for recommending this. So it was released this year, and it was also listed as one of the best sci-fi/fantasy books of the year. And here's the nutshell. There's a town and a valley, and the people who live within the town cannot leave the valley. Well, they can under very specific circumstances that may, well, I don't want to say much more. This book is sad. It's sad and it's beautiful, and it's written in a pretty melancholic voice. Like the main character is very melancholic and introverted. Once I started reading it, it felt similar to when I read Clara and the Sun. If you've read that, or Never Let Me Go. It falls within the speculative fiction, kind of like dystopian, alternate reality, psychological fiction sphere. I will say it's a slow read. It's slow and quiet, which makes it all the more punishing when heartbreaking things happen, and all the more jubilant when heartwarming things happen. But I am lost in the sauce right now. This is exactly my alley. My valley, one might say. And if you have read it, or if you've read alternate universe, dystopian, futuristic fiction that kind of sounds like this, let me know down below if you have recommendations, because I would love to hear. A very specific niche that I think I really like is when things are set in the future. Either it's a far-flung distant future or a not so distant future, but there's more of a old-timey sentiment. I don't know why that's like charming and interesting to me. Kind of like Hunger Games too, you know, how it's like this dystopian story, but the people living in the districts, it's kind of like it takes place in the 1800s, early 1900s kind of. If there's a name for that very specific subgenre or niche, let me know. Maybe we should come up with one. Or even like in what's the space movie with Matthew McConaughey? Interstellar, how they're farmers and there's a lot of pastoral scenes, but there's also intergalactic space travel. I like that. I don't know why, but I do. Honestly, when stories take place in like contemporary times, I'm like, let's talk about these nails. I got these tiny little star sparkles when I was picking up paint, and I've wanted to do this for a while. Do not apply to skin or hair. What about nails? Just doing a clear coat with some... These are gonna get everywhere. Some sparkles in it. Oh my gosh. So let's see how it goes. Style these bad boys after I push this drawer in. Yeah, much better. So listen, I get it. These are weird. It's definitely a statement piece. And one of my favorite videos I've ever made on this channel is one called How to Hear I Love Your Outfit Every Day, aka little tips and tricks on how to build a delightful look that people might see and think, wow, that's really cool. And one of my tips is, of course, to add a little statement piece, even to what may seem like a pretty generic look. And I also anticipated folks seeing this and being like, okay, that's great, but like, when would you ever wear loafers with fuzzy monster feet on them? My answer is whenever you would wear shoes, but I understand that that's not super helpful. So first up, we're rocking an outfit that one might typically wear loafers with. My initial inspiration was kind of the quintessential, I don't know, librarian or library look. We've got the long plaid skirt. Typically you might wear like a cardigan or like a turtleneck if you're staying within the bounds of the classic library outfit, but I wanted to make it a little sportier, give it a little more personality. So instead of the cardigan, we have athletic hoodie, even with the extra detail of these like hockey lace up front. And I wanted to make it a little more sporty, one, just because I thought that is kind of a cool extra layer of detail, but also I wanted to include my new kind of sporty bag. So maybe we're hitting the books at the library and we're gonna go play some intramural sports after this. I don't know. Hello, dog. Now we've got two cool pops of color. We have the purple in the shoes, the purple in the skirt, the reddish pink in the nails, the red on the bag. Honestly, I think this is pretty cool. I'm actually gonna be visiting my work office in like a couple weeks and working from there for the week, so I might actually pack this outfit as kind of a office option. Okay, let's try another look. Even more innocuous. The quintessential, I don't know, 1950s penny loafer look. The high-waisted, straight leg jeans with a cardigan. Just add in a little fuzzy toe loafer. Bro, whoa. I don't think they can see my shoes when you stand there like that. This feels classic, but still with a little personality because we have the oversized graphic on the cardigan, a little cargo detail on the jeans, and of course, the monster feet. And probably just something cutesy for the bag. I feel like this is ready for Pinterest. Perhaps we add a big bow. Oh, also, if you do something like this, hold please, and you want to protect your work, you can get something like this. which is basically just clear acrylic medium that you can add on top to create a protective layer on top of your work. You don't have to use this. You could use any acrylic clear medium, but your mileage may vary. And speaking of that, if you tackle some monster feet loafers or something of the sort this Halloween season, please tag me on Instagram or let me know somehow. I would love to see it. Let me know down below what kind of tootsies you would add to your spooky shoes, or if this just really isn't for you. And if so, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for hanging in there with us. I think me and this guy need to go on a walk because he's clearly asking for attention. So with that, I hope you have a great week. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it. You know, something weird about my analytics is that most of my viewers are returning viewers, like people who have watched before, which is awesome, but only like half of my viewers are subscribed. So if you're one of those returning viewers who hasn't subscribed, perhaps consider doing so. It'll make sure that I pop up on your homepage, on your subscriptions feed, so we don't lose each other in the maelstrom that is the YouTube algorithm. And I'll be back next week. I think we're just gonna do a classic thrift with me, maybe for some Halloween-y stuff. Maybe we won't get anything. We'll just vibe and should be a good time. Hope you have a great week, even though your stinky little monster feet are so stinky. I can smell them from here. I love you, and goodbye.